This is Magic More, the party spark of the J team. 8-time extraordinaire, the caterator. This is your boy Chuck C from them throwback boys. Stacks on deck. Zone 3 representative. And this is Atlanta rap history.
You can't know where Atlanta's going if you don't first know your history. Listen.
Yo, what it do, what it could be. It's your boy Chuck C. Throwback boys, Zone 3 representative. Stacks on deck like BAM.
Yeah, my bad. Hey, what's happening, man? This your boy Magic More, the party sport, man. From the JT representing this thing from the west side to the east side, man. Y'all just pardon me. I was just buffing up my Atlanta Braves. You know what I'm talking about? Community. Y'all know what I'm talking about? A-time in this thing. But anyway, man, what's happening with you, Chuck C, man?
Man, you already know how we do about this time, man, when we bring in this true Atlanta history, man. And when you talk about this Atlanta rap history, you can't talk about Atlanta rap history without our tonight's guest, man. They had an intricate part in getting rap on the radio. Before these guys, there was no rap on the radio. The radio used to brag about having a no rap station. They didn't even play no rap. But these guys brought the rap to the radio, man. Not only was they record breakers, but they were record makers. They went on to create a label that went worldwide, that produced multiple platinum albums. He's a talent maker, a talent breaker. He knows he got the eye for the talent, the ear for the music, man. And he's a person that's really from the streets and got his roots planted in the streets. And he took that into the music business, you see what I'm saying, and kept it street all the way. But if you don't know who I'm talking about, man, I'm talking about not Chris Level, but I'm talking about Poon Daddy. What's happening? Shawty!
What they know about that?
What's up, dog? What's up, Bob? What's up, Chuck?
Hey, man.
What's going on, man?
Good to have you on the show.
Good to have you on the show, man. Yes, sir.
I'm glad to be here, man. Glad to be here, all the way in California. Well, my name is Poon Daddy, man. Everybody know me from, the very, very worldwide popular Hot 97.5. I guess y'all know it's 107.5 now. Radio station, Future Flavor Show, which is me. Ludacris, aka Chris Level, Lala, which is Lala Anthony, and K Sly. They were all part of our cast and a part of our team, and an intricate part of Radio 1 history.
Okay. And when you speak about that Radio 1, let the people know the difference with Atlanta before Radio 1 and after Radio 1.
Well, when I first got to Atlanta, I went to college at Clark, Atlanta in 92. I graduated in 92. I came that fall to 92. And I guess everything was kind of really off or whatever, because a lot of my paperwork wasn't even in. So I had to go my first semester, still redshirt and play at Clark, but my classes was all at Morris Brown because that's where I could just automatically get in. I had to transfer back. So that was like my first semester. It was like a thing. This place called Carter Hall we had to stay at. We didn't even have a place to stay. It was a little different. And when I first got here, when I first turned on the radio, all I used to hear V103 say was that you won't hear rap music on this station. V103 was the pride and home of R&B. Right. So they pride themselves on not playing rap music at that time.
Right. They was I remember that, the pride of R&B, your R&B station. Yeah, V103, the R&B station.
Yeah.
That's right.
And then I think the only time they did play certain rap songs was on Ryan Cameron's show.
Okay. Almost like how the Greg Street show is now. You got almost like your mix tape kind of show thing that they had going on at the time.
Greg probably played all rap. Like Ryan got a chance to play. I think when we talked to him, I remember because I asked him. I just was trying to figure out. He said I think he got the chance to play like 4 songs a week that
Oh
had rap
wow.
in it.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Versus
Okay.
now where you hear rap all 24 hours a day on the radio.
Right, and it's
And maybe 4 songs of
3 or 4
R&B.
rap radio stations. Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's 4 stations now, right? 4 stations.
It's 4 stations now
Yeah.
that play all like Magic Mark say where you might hear 4 R&B songs a week and they
Right,
playing all hip hop.
right. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
definitely.
Oh
So,
yeah.
so to me, it was crazy how I even got on the radio because it wasn't anything that I necessarily thought would even happen. My roommate met a guy named Jason Staten at a party, and this is when the station didn't even have any jocks. They were just playing like the whole 24 songs over and over, or 30 songs, whatever it was. For
Right.
like the first week, it was like a whole bunch of, you know what I'm saying? I think this might have been like the summer of '94, so summer of '95, something like that. And at this time, I was still at Clark. I think I was going about to start or about to go into my junior year. And
Okay.
I kind of was known on school campus for kind of being in the LaFace mix because of my relationship with Left Eye.
Okay.
Okay.
So how did that
Okay.
relationship develop?
Well, it's crazy how I started because it actually started in L.A. I was in the 12th grade, going to Dorsey High School, and they got this thing called Grad Night at Six Flags out in L.A. Magic Mountain, and just so happened TLC was on their first ever tour. It was like a promo tour. Their first record wasn't even out yet. They were just on tour first. So I think they was opening up for MC Hammer, but they didn't even get a chance to perform, or while they was about to perform or something like that. We actually got into a fight. So it turned into like a mini riot, and Magic Mountain ended up getting shut down, and I ended up hiding in the dressing room and meeting Lisa on some real gutter shit. And yeah, it was it was I tell people it was like the night I died and I had started a new life because I fought like maybe I don't even know how many people I fought, but it was like 50, 60. I mean, I was cut, bruised, stabbed. You know what I'm saying? It was one of those. It was like, it was one of those battle royales. But the thing about it is that we were so outnumbered because me and my homies, we might have been like 40, 50 deep. Meanwhile, it was about
Mm.
2,000, 3,000 of people that we didn't really get along with. So
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's
the
crazy.
numbers were terrible, and we end up, like I said, Magic Mountain ended up shutting down for like maybe like 5 or 6 months because somebody got killed. It was crazy. It was all in the news, but that was like my leaving of Los Angeles.
Okay. Okay. So
Right.
you can almost say that was like the birth of Poon Daddy then. But were you Poon Daddy before then, or did you become Poon
Nah,
Daddy
nah,
once you kind of get?
I wasn't Poon Daddy. So
Okay.
I'm gonna give you that one real fast. So Poon Daddy really came from because I got some family that's from Allen Temple on the west side of
Allen
Adamfield.
Temple.
West side.
Yes, sir.
West
One
Side.
time for the west side.
One time for the west side. I'm a real west side to west side. So I got in
Thank
trouble maybe
you.
my 8th grade year or something like that in junior high, and my mama sent me before football started. It was like 12, 14 days. So I came to Atlanta and stayed with my auntie. I wasn't even thinking about going to college. And I mean, when I was thinking about going to college, but I definitely wasn't thinking about going to college in Atlanta because I know I wanted to play football. So I really wanted to stay on the West Coast. So I was just going to visit, like going down south. Forget it, let's go. So I went and I met some dude. His name was Poon, and he was like I guess the best way to put it is that he was like what you call that, a Debo character. And he used to ride
Okay.
around Martin Luther King, steal people bike, beat people up. It was a beach cruiser or whatever. So when I first seen him, I instantly befriended him because this is like somebody, a LA type of dude. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So, we thrive on bullies. You know what I'm saying? We love bullies. We get a kick out of them. So I really loved the fact that he was a big old bully. So I started hanging out with him. I remember I went to a little park with him, riding a bike with him. You know what I'm saying? So it was cool. But because of the southernness Later on, when I got on the radio, a couple of people that used to see me hanging with Poon that summer asked me where Poon was. And you know how, country folks are. They'd say, "Hey, Lil Poon, where Poon at?" You know what I'm saying? Like, as if, they don't know your name. They just going to call you a smaller version of whoever you was with, if that's the case. And he was. I was like a smaller version of him. He was like 19, 18. I was like 12, 13. So that's where the whole Poon Daddy came in. And I think his name is Hollywood, Lauren, his name is Lauren. He used to be the producer of Ryan Cameron's morning show, Hollywood. I think he does what's his name now? Uh, what's the guy name? The comedian? What's his name? He's on
Ryan Cameron,
107.9 now. Ricky Smiley.
Ricky Smiley.
So
Ricky
Hollywood
Smiley.
is Ricky Smiley's producer now. So Hollywood actually, the person who heard the lady say Poon, recognized it and then put Daddy on.
Oh,
Wow.
okay.
Wow.
And
Hollywood. So
so I,
shout out
I
to Hollywood.
instantly, I thought he was like joning. Like, I thought he was like, just being funny. So the
Right.
next day, I don't know if you remember this. Well, you do, because it still goes on now. So if you listen to the radio at every like 05 or 50, 20 or something like that, you'll hear a traffic break where a person is
Mm-hmm.
telling you where the traffic is and how congested or light or whatever it is around the city. Well,
Mm-hmm.
on this particular day, whoever was doing the traffic couldn't do the traffic. So the traffic actual stuff used to come on this computer, and it was all codes and stuff like that. And since I was interning at the station and I was in like multiple departments, I got a chance to understand what those codes meant. So I don't
Okay.
know if it was Jerry Smoking B, but somebody was like, "Hey, I need you to do the traffic." So Hollywood was like, "Hey, do the traffic like you from Atlanta." And I was like, "What?" He was like, "Man, I be hearing you talk like you from Atlanta, man. So I'm telling you, it's really good. You really sound like you from Atlanta." So, and I was like, "Man, I don't know." I was kind of apprehensive. And he was like, "Nah," but I guess the silliness in me and the characterness in me came out. So I did it just like that. I just embodied myself as somebody from the west side of Atlanta that had a lowrider bicycle that was able to ride on a bridge and look over I-20, look over 85 and 75 and tell you what the traffic was. So
Wow.
that's what I did. And it was a hit. I mean, I remember at one point, I think I had only did it like 5 times. And my general manager was like, some people wrote you letters. Some kids wrote you letters. And I was like, what?
Mm.
Wrote me letters for what? What's it about? At this time, I'm still interning. I didn't get paid no money. I'm like, what you mean they wrote me letters? So, I had to go through that whole thing because, that's what people don't understand in business. If you don't say anything, no one's going to do anything. You feel what I'm saying? So
Right.
I didn't really even understand that I was a commodity. I didn't even understand I was worth value. I just was trying to get a job at the college, man. I ain't gonna lie.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Wow.
That was my whole
Well,
thing in my head.
well, let me say this, man. I noticed too. You said 94, 95. Now 94, 95, man. I'm telling, that was the best years of the Freaknik, man. So you
Yes,
had to
it
be
was.
part of the soundtrack, man, for the Freaknik, man,
Yes,
for a lot of out of towners,
yes,
man.
it
The people,
was.
yeah, man. So
And that's where the
I
whole
wonder what
shout.
that
That's where
traffic
the
report
whole
was like. What
and look and
what
see.
was that
So
traffic
y'all from the
report
east
like?
side. So the whole shout there that came from one person. All
Okay.
right, and he is from Decatur, by way
East
of
side.
I think Stone Mountain.
Decatur.
You know what I'm saying? But so Brian and Brandon Casey from Jagged Edge, those are my god brothers. My dad and my their mom went to like school together back in the day in Hartford. So we always, been close. And when I got here to go to school and I got with them and I met Kyle, and at this time it was Twin AK. Kyle from Jagged Edge, everywhere we went, he would just anonymously scream, "Shout it!" And everywhere
Yes,
we
sir.
went, it would
That's
just
him.
be like that was just shit. Like he was screaming that shit loud as hell. Like, and I was like, damn, what the hell is wrong with this nigga, man? Like, you know what I'm saying? But it was funny, but it was like a stamp. You know what I mean? It was like, you know what I mean? It was
hmm
brash because it was loud. It was like it was
Right.
Atlanta, and it was like everything just in that one word. So when I did the traffic,
Yeah.
I
That's right.
ended it like that. Like, you know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
I guess that was really the stamper, because everybody was like, damn, man. Like, still to this day, I meet people that like DM me and be like, didn't you go to Dud? Didn't you go to McDonald? No way. I went to school in Los Angeles.
Well, you
You
know
know what I'm
what?
saying? But
Shout out to them guys, man. Shout out to Brian and Brandon, man, and Cal, man. I know him as Quick. I call him Quick, man. That's my East
quick,
Side
yes,
partners
yes,
too, man. So
yes.
I want to shout out to them cats, man.
581 straight cats. That's my family.
Yes,
That's
sir.
right. That's right.
Hey,
Fam Goon.
and 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 speaking of that, Sade, talk to me a little bit about that song. I'm still bucking like 5 deuce 4 Trey, okay?
Hey,
Somebody better tell them. I'm still bucking like 5 deuce 4 trade.
Yeah.
I mean, that was just backbone showing love, man. The dungeon. I call myself like you know, the basically the aesthetics of the dungeon, because I was always there, man. It's so crazy. Like Rico will tell you this right now. I was there even when I wasn't supposed to be there, because again, going
Right.
back to Left Eye, a lot of people don't know. You know what I'm saying, that even though they was in a bad deal or situation, that certain people, especially like Pebbles, still try to do certain things to make things right. So Left Eye had her own production label the same time she was in TLC, and she had a few groups that were signed. And this is pre-Outcast now, so she had a
Okay.
few groups that were signed that actually had deals. And Rico, because of what they were doing, just what I'm saying, around the skate scene and the dance scene, they were so known for having dope music and vibe. She put them, put her producers in, put her artists in the studio with Organized, and they got a chance to do, work with them. And really, Rico used to say, like, man, Lisa saved our lives. She paid our bills, because without that money, you know what I'm saying, it wouldn't have really been no Organized, nor there even been no Outkast, because Outkast at this time, I remember seeing Dre and Big Boy with blonde hair sitting at the bottom of the dungeon. You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
And they was
Uh,
just squatting, chilling.
oh,
You
See
feel
now,
me?
that's some Atlanta.
You,
That's Atlanta rap history. That's some Atlanta
that's
rap
Atlanta
history right
rap
there.
history right
But
there.
you
also
know what I
too, man.
mean? So
Hey, now did you know them being what was it? Two shades right before they was Outcast. They had another name.
they was already at this point. They was already Outcast, but I think they was still
Okay.
like more or less just doing records. But I remember they had just put it like this: when I met them, the night I met them, I think Ian Burke was over there to talk about managing them. Him and this lady named Mia Red. I don't even know if y'all know who Mia Red is, but she was kind of a big manager in Atlanta early on when I got to Atlanta. She managed a bunch of people like
Okay. Well, I'm
Dang
most
and
definitely know
Dang,
Ian Burks.
Mister, huh?
Now I say I'm
We
most
said,
definitely know Ian Burks though. Big
yeah,
name
Ian Burke,
around the city.
Ian
Ian
Burke
Burks.
and Mia Red, they was partners and they worked together on a bunch of stuff. So that's when I remember officially meeting them. I remember coming over there another time with Lisa and with Tion or whatever, but I don't really remember who was there that time. But the next time that I came, I remember seeing them, and I also remember meeting the Lumberjacks, because they
Um,
wasn't even Goody Mob;
The
they was the Lumberjacks,
Timo
and
Goody
I
and who was
and
that? That was
Cujo
Timo
Goody,
Goody and Kojo
yep,
Goody. Yeah,
yep,
sir. The
yeah.
Lumberjacks, man. Shout out
Mixo,
to
my
the
guy Mixo
Lumberjacks.
was working with them at the time. My guy Mixo, he was
yeah.
doing some stuff
And see,
with
and
us at
see,
the
the
time.
crazy thing about it is that I knew them from school, because, like I said, my first semester, because my paperwork was messed up, I was at Morris Brown and they was at Morris Brown.
Wow,
Oh
that's
wow.
Atlanta rap history right there. That's some
Yeah,
history right there.
yeah. So I
So
was
you
kind of
sound
like
like you was a bit
always
of a
in the,
mix.
yeah, I was always in the mix. You know what I'm saying? So it was like,
That's
that's
right.
really what kind of people just knew me for. It was like, hey man, what's it like? Like people didn't even really know what I did. They just knew that I was there. And the biggest thing was is that, in a sense, I was validated because of my relationship with Lisa. For me being able to hang out, like I remember I had a key card to the face. Like I didn't even work there, but I had a key card. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
I knew the code to dark. You know what I'm saying? I was able to go to JD
Right.
Mama house. Like, I don't know if you know, but back in the day when crisscross was popping, man, you couldn't get through that gate at JD Mama house, bro. There was no popping going on. So I remember one of the first times I even met JB with Lisa, and I met Mama Tina, and we was talking about California, and I think she had some people from California, so she just kind of like, it was just love. You feel me? So I think from that point on, I don't know. I just think kind of because I guess I'm a social guy, and I know how to, communicate with people. Early on,
Right.
people take a liking to me. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm not, I ain't on no weird shit. I'm not no, no. I'm not. I ain't on no bullshit. I'm trying to just, do my thing, and then I don't really. I'm not one of those type of people that kind of like feel like, hey man, what you doing? I ain't really tripping on what you doing. I'm doing. I got a whole mission myself, so it's like,
Right.
But
Right.
I'm not opposed to helping anybody. And as you just said before, we helped a lot of people on that show, man. Future Flavors really helped a lot of people. Like we played music that I know people would never hear on the radio. I mean, I'm talking about like Pat the Great. I'm talking about like all the big stuff, early big I'm talking about. I mean, who else? I'm talking about Mercenaries. I'm talking about who else? What's my boy's name that did the Rad Top, Money Red and Knucklehead, D Rock
Right.
D
Okay.
Rock and Diamond. Before what's his name was in the group, like this was when D Rock was just Bankhead Bouncer. You know what I mean? Player Poncho, like
Right.
all these guys was like they were popular in the real grooves of Atlanta, but on the bigger scene with the
Right.
LaFaces and the Outcasts well, not, at this point, not even really Outcasts, really just with the TLCs and the, what I'm saying, everything that they had going on. But even on the bigger level, was like So Def and Dallas, like what I'm saying, ABC and Highland
No.
Place Mobsters, and all the stuff that they had going on over
Right.
there. It was different sectors. It was like really big or extremely small. You know what I mean? And I guess the extremely small was like the grit from the bass music to the yeek 'em up dancing to the everything. You feel me? So I really kind of bit into the culture. And in that 92, 93, as you said, Mark, it was like an ideal time because of Freaknik and everything. Like, man, I couldn't have came at a better time.
Mm-hmm.
You
Exactly.
know?
They couldn't. Hey, all about timing, man. Well, let me ask you about this
All
kind of
about time.
timing,
That's
man.
God, though.
Well, let me ask you, how did Batman and Robin? How did Batman and Robin come into this thing, man?
Okay,
And when I
so
say that, I
me and
mean you
Chris.
and Chris Lover, man.
Okay, so Chris, he was like maybe a few months out of Banneker, and he had an album or something that he was trying to do, him and his partner. And at this time, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the group was Disturbing the Peace, and it was just like him and another guy.
Okay.
And I was at the station because again I was like one of the only interns or one of the first interns. I might have maybe had like one other person, but um, the station was on Old National, and it was set up in like this what you call this office park that looks like apartments. So a lot
Okay.
of times with different artists, they used to come throw rocks at the window of where the actual live booth was, and people would bang on the door extremely long so you can hear it from the buildings over. Like you know what I'm saying? So one night it might have been like a little bit before it was dark, so it might be like 6, 7 earlier, but going in the night. But the station is closed. You know what I mean? The group was on
Mhm.
the air, and I'm in the booth or whatever. But literally, somebody was knocking at the door for about 10 minutes, like, but never stopping to the point you thought maybe like is something broke, like you know what I'm saying? So when I finally go to see, like, damn, there's somebody at the door. I think I looked out the window and could see like somebody's legs, and I went and ran down to the door. So when I get down there, I'm like, what's going on? Is everything okay? He's like, hey man, look. My name is Ludacris. I rap. This is my album. I'm like, are you serious? You just knocked at the door that long? He's like, yeah, man. This my shot. You know what I'm saying? He
Right.
shot his shot, and we kind of
Wow.
we talked for about right then, maybe like 60, or maybe like 2 minutes, 2 or 3 minutes. We just real fast, boom, 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 boom. So in the 2 or 3 minutes, he said something to me that made me want to throw him a bone. So I
Okay.
remember in
Okay.
being in a meeting earlier, in a production meeting, and the program director was like, "Hey man, we need to get some station identification, which is like drops, teasers, intros, outros to people's shows to kind of really put a blanket on the station, but it's just music playing, it's just people talking. It's no, really, what you call that, flair to the station. It was no,
Right.
Hot
Right.
97, none of that. It was none of that type of stuff that was on. So all that stuff was actually being made because it was all work in progress. So I
Okay.
told Chris, I said, listen, none of the jocks have intros. So what you want to might do is go home, listen to at least 3 or 4 of the people's shows, hear what they talk about, hear if they have any type of a contest or anything that they have on the show, and do them a minute drop. Make it like
Mm-hmm.
maybe a minute, 50 seconds. They can use it as an intro, outro to the show, boom, boom, boom. And he was like, oh. I was like, cool. So I'm thinking that he gonna go home and maybe, a couple days, niggas, they bullshit, maybe a week, whatever. Man, this nigga had that shit in the morning. Nigga, like, in the morning, man. When I got to the station, like in the morning, man, it was there. He had it done. Hey, this for
Wow.
you. Somebody left this. I'm like, damn. And he was at Georgia State at this time, so he dropped it off
Wow.
on his way to school. So
Wow.
I remember I came in, I played it, and as soon as I played it, whatever he was rapping was hard as hell. People start coming into the production room where I was playing it. Steve Hegwood came in there, Shaka came in there. A few people was like, "Oh shit, who's that?" I'm like, "I don't know. Some dude named Chris I just met yesterday, but he's," you know what I'm saying? Like, it was literally like that. You know what I'm saying? So I
Wow.
remember I called him and I was like, "Yo, bro, they like you." And he was like, "For real? They gonna play my song?" I was like, "Slow down. I ain't say all that, but they want you to come back up there." So he came back up there, and what they did was that since me and Chris were like the two youngest guys on the show, on the station, they made I was already the night guy intern, and they made Chris the morning intern. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay.
since Ryan was
Okay.
transitioning to come back, because I don't know if you guys know, but Ryan left V103 and went to DC because there's a thing in radio when you're on a station, you can't just go to another station like the next day if you've been on a station there for like 2-3 years. That's like cheap. You know what I'm saying? You can't do
Okay.
that. So you got to
Okay.
go be in
Right.
another market
Okay.
for 6 months and come back. So that's what Ryan did. He went with the no compete clause to DC to the other station that they had that Kathy Hughes had, and he came back. That's when Art Terrell and Felicia Love. I don't know if y'all remember that. Remember they was on the morning show first, and that's where Chris actually got his name from.
Yeah.
Chris Lover Lover. It was Art Terrell, Felicia Love, Chris Lover Lover. So that was like the whole dynamics of it. So that's where his name came from.
Oh, okay. That's that Atlanta
Wow.
rap history.
Okay.
That's
Well, you
Atlanta
know
rap
what?
history for
And
you, man.
you bet, man, and him robbing because you brought him in to the
Yeah,
station.
yeah. Yeah. Well, it always was like that though, because Chris is like my little brother. So that's what kind of makes our dynamics weird because like Chris was not like well, I don't I'm not saying this in a way or coming off in a way. Don't take me wrong or anything like he needed anything, but when you're somebody that's really trying to go out and create something in music and really want to get back, you need a support and a true valued opinion of somebody who really is on the same playing field with you, that understanding everything and how it's all rolling out. And that person will probably have to
Right.
be somebody that's going to be a little non-biased, that's really going to tell you the real, and kind of also know the game. And that's what I was because I had a little bit more toolaging than he had because of my affiliation with Lisa, but it really wasn't because I didn't really know what the hell I was doing with Lisa. I
Right.
was just hanging around. Like I got a chance to when she was on probation, I was her assistant at LaFace. So that to me that was killer.
Right.